Right then, hello ladies and gentlemen, how are we all doing today? I hope everybody is doing great, and I tell you what, I swear to god, I can actually commentate a lot better when I've had a Budweiser. I don't know what it is, it might be the smoothness. So quick detour from the stream. What do you guys prefer? Like, out of your soft beers, I suppose? Well, light beers, American style beers, you know those things where it's basically just flavoured water, but what do you guys prefer? I know it's a bit random, but I kind of like... I like Sol. I think Sol's quite nice. Or, damn, I forgot what they call it. But yeah, anyway. Bit of a tangent, but it's a nice way to start the stream to see if things are still working, so that's great, things are working. What's up there, Sniper, Diligent, and AT Parmentia? How you doing, my guys? My dudes, my dudettes? Yeah, okay. Oh dear. Okay, that was cringy. Right, I'm just going to turn the music up a little bit. There we go. Well then. We will be finishing the turn in this stream. There's not much left here to do. I either drink proof juice, 2KD, or... Oh, god man, I can't stand spirits. Like, there's a bad story, basically. Yeah, there's a bad story in my life where way too much terrible things. The thing is though, you always remember the most embarrassing thing. Everything else just black out, but you always remember the most embarrassing things. That's something I'm going to take with me to my grave. Ah, damn 80, that doesn't sound too good. Yeah, Blue Moon's quite nice. You know what, I like an Imperial Stout, but Imperial Stouts are bloody strong. I think the strongest I've had as an Imperial Stout was like a 12%. And it's like, yeah, you notice it. You really do notice it when you stand up. You're like, oh, wow, okay, that was a bit more punchy than I expected. Well, right. Let's stop waffling, we'll get into things then, shall we? Now, we do have the Minikazis that we're working on here. We're having them converted to a much more interesting model. What I'll do is actually find them. We'll get a good idea of how long it's going to take. Did I have some in Tokyo? I think... Well, I'm almost certain I had some in Kyoto. Right, I don't seem to have any here. In Osaka. Indeed, Scotch. Like, I like whiskey and Scotch and stuff like that. It's just... Like, it's one of those things where I wouldn't start by drinking that. It just goes straight... Right, here we do. We have Kikazi. Should I buy this or one of these? My sound up. Okay. Yeah, there we go. I had my sound all the way down. That was really weird. My bad. Okay. Yeah, should I buy this or one of these? See, I would suggest one of these if you like the openness of the actual game. What I mean by that is it's like, for example, you have the entirety of the Russian theatre, obviously Eastern Europe, Germany. You have so much room, you can sort of experiment, it's rather interesting. Obviously you start with Barbarossa, but you can experiment, which is really quite fun. You can of course play as the Soviets, a very different experience playing as the Soviets. Though, it really comes down to what you enjoy personally as a gamer. Now, I absolutely adore all the titles, each in their own way. For example, One in the West does have the most interesting logistics system behind One in Pacific. But I suppose I'd rate them as, let's see. Starts at number 1, War in the Pacific, Admiral's Edition. Number 2, I'd say War in the East due to the openness. Now, War in the East 2 will have a merger of systems between War in the West and War in the East. So when that comes out, that will definitely be tied for number 1. But for number 3, I'd say War in the West. And then the last one would have to be Bomb in the Reich. But that's only because I've not had that much experience with it, but it does seem rather interesting. Japan looks like a nest with all the ships around it. Indeed. But yeah, I'd personally recommend... It depends really what you're ready for. I mean, One of the Pacific is... You see, you can learn it. It's not easy, but you can learn it. All it is basically just being ready to accept making a few mistakes, but that's fine. That's part of the learning process. Most people do prefer One of the East as it's a faster game. Like a One of the Pacific game is going to take years to finish. Absolutely years. Hello there, Snake. How you doing, mate, dude? Okay. Right, so what I need to do here is I'm going to look for a few ships from Japan to actually, ideally, escort the battleships that will move into the Pacific. I could do with potentially further ships over here to reinforce the Baby Kitawutai force. Now, we do have 2 light cruisers here. The seaplane carrier and, of course, a destroyer. It's not a very strong force, is it? I think what we'd be better off doing then is having, obviously, the carrier force over here, the Philippines Task Force, merge with Kitabutai, well, Baby Kitabutai, which is going to bring a lot of destroyers, as well as some nice heavy cruisers in there, as well as Ryujo. Well, Ryujo? Ryujo. That's always a good thing to have. Now I have you. I think what we'll do is we'll have you change. Right, meet task force. I'd like you to meet the 2 solitary battleships. Right. I want you to meet up with Nagato, which will obviously meet up with the other battleship there. So merge. Direct round. Okay. Now that's only 2 destroyers, but that should be a sufficient escort for the time being. I don't anticipate anything too particularly dangerous here in the waters off of Japan at the moment. There will be enemies, but there won't be that many of them. We'll take them some time to move into position. Now, I do have a bunch of coastal mine layers. I think what I'd like to do then... Hello there, Joan. How you doing, my friend? Right, we do have a few tankers here. Their speed isn't great, their capacity is very low. Nice. Awesome, my friend. Right, what do we want to do with these tankers? There is small amounts, well, there's a decent amount of oil here. The only issue is it takes a very long time to actually have that picked up. Which song would that be? The only thing that sucks about One of the Pacific is that you can't completely defeat the Allies no matter what you do. You lack the ability to advance your nation to that level. See, this is it. It very much depends. I'd say it's probably easier to... Like, you can win against a player, in a way. Because the player can admit a defeat, whereas the AI will simply not. We're going to start stockpiling oil here. I think it might be worthwhile just to use these tankers over here, just to do short runs like that. So I'll have them sent to Toyohara. They can be based there as well. Just at their home port to Toyohara. Now, of course, it's a little bit risky having these guys unescorted. I'll send the torpedo boat Sagi with them. Obviously, it's does it have any ASW? It does not. But at least it's better than nothing. But at least at the moment in time. Obviously, I'm taking a big risk by having all these ships unescorted. But, we have to accept there is a loss margin. But at this stage in the war, if they get moving, they should be able to avoid enemy submarines. At least potentially well enough. Okay, we are a little bit over capacity here, so I should really look towards moving some aircraft off of here. What about your carrier fleets? Do you mean in terms of the escorts? Do I need to keep you on target here? Have I given you any orders? Usual. No, you have no orders for the time being. Okay. What we're going to do then is we're going to have you meet Baby Kitabutai. So I could have Baby Kita Butai head out to Bataan Island. That's probably what I'll do then. I'll have them head out. But then again, that is rather risky. But if we move them towards Bataan Island, it will draw the enemies, well, lanes out. So that could be rather intriguing. I am going to move them at full speed here because I do want them to move within the range of the A6M2 cover, or the claws or the nates, ideally. That would be mighty handy. We do have a destroyer minesweeper here. Oh, was wondering what they're doing. Okay, well, we have the Philippines Task Force over here. They're going to meet up with Baby Kido Butai. So what we're going to be doing here is basically we'll have a secondary carrier force. Well, technically we'll have a tertiary. Well, yeah, technically a tertiary carrier force for the time being. So that will be the light carriers Ryujo and what is it called again? And Zuiho. The Ryujo and Zuiho will merge together into a small task force. The mission of actual Kitabutai is to remain in the Pacific for some time. Now they're heading towards Truk, but I'll probably swing them potentially down here depending on what happens. And there's a few things that may happen that may draw my attention here. But for the most part, their mission is to remain in the Pacific, and we are going to use them to support our offensive here as well, to ideally hunt down Allied shipping, but priority would be, of course, hunting down Allied capital ships of value. The other two carriers, that is the slower carriers, Akagi and Kaga. They are to head back to East Asia, though they will be stopping at Wake and Midway, first of all. They will be used to assist in the actual invasions at Wake as well as Midway. From there, they'll head back to East Asia, well, they'll then link up with the light carriers Ryujo and Zuiho. From there, they'll form a good solid task force that will be used to actually accelerate the invasions in East Asia, as well as the Dutch East Indies. We will have our escort carriers. They will be sent to Japan to pick up squadrons of aircraft or towards other bases, where they'll be sent to pick up squadrons of aircraft and engineers. So what I plan to do here is have the escort carriers move along with APD, so basically destroy transports. So what we'll have is a fast reaction force that will be carrying at least a squadron of either bombers or fighters. They will then be moved to different islands around the Pacific or elsewhere. Well, they'll then begin to set up shop, establishing an airfield where we can use that to surprise the forces of THG. Hey Alexander, how are you doing? What did I miss? How's it going? Well, we only started about 13 minutes ago, so you've not really missed anything. The hunt is rather interesting. We do have... Well, we did kind of work out where she might roughly be in terms of the Lexington. So let's see. Yes. So submarine I-175 observed Allied torpedo bombers at 173-113. So that would be here. 173-113. Now we did work out that the American torpedo bombers at this time have a range of roughly between 4 to 5 hexes. The dive bombers, if we're being more generous, have a range of 6 to 7. So what we worked out roughly is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to always overestimate the enemy. If we always overestimate the enemy and respond to that, then we're not going to suffer. Because in reality, my fears and my worries are usually unfounded, and usually the enemy is not as significant. But if we assume the maximum distance of 7 hexes, which if it's a torpedo bomber and that report is correct, it would actually be 5 hexes, would put a carrier roughly in this area. For example, they could be a couple hexes down here, or a couple hexes up here. Though I doubt that, considering that we have a lot of search potential over this area. But the potential remains nonetheless. Of course, they could be down here. But I would wager... I'm going to bring my drawing tool up here. Hello there, Judy Hobbs. How are you doing, my friend? So I'm going to wager that they may, in fact, be within this sort of band. I went down, oh. Oh dear. Which in the series reminds me of New Pony from Street Legal. I don't know what that is, but I don't know. Street Legal sounds a little bit more... you got rice on your face. Oh dear. Okay, so I'm going to imagine that the Lexington is probably going to be making her way down here, southwest. That'd be more than likely. Yeah, that location is where the Enterprise should be. Yeah, she was somewhere near Johnson Island. Then imagine she's over here somewhere. She might be making a break towards the southwest, which I don't imagine or expect. The thing is, if she goes north, she's going to run into Kidobutai. She's going to be absolutely annihilated. Though Kidobutai will actually not attack her in the first sighting, due to me giving them specific orders not to attack beyond like 1 hex around, just to make sure we don't lose anything. Though I imagine if she goes this way, it would be a bold move, but she'd definitely have to go further south to try and avoid my submarines. Okay, I understand why you want to split your carriers. Speedrun history had been aware the Japanese could have used the other 2 of Kidobutai. Granted, Shokaku was damaged across sea. Well, see, this is it. My stratagem really does, well, it's really based on the fact that we actually do find a carrier here. If I actually do find a carrier, what we have at the moment is, I'm sort of basing a ratio, like, I'm going to call it the golden ratio, upon my 4 fast carriers to 3 Lexington carriers, and the amount of fighters is pretty much on par. There's only like 7 to 10 plane difference at like 270 to like 280, so, well, roughly around there. So what we'd have is like roughly 1-to-1 force ratio. Of course, it would be much different in reality, considering that American carriers do, I believe, run their own reconnaissance, while as Japanese carriers do not. Their doctrine is different. So we may have more fighters, we may have more torpedo bombers or dive bombers. Now our A6M2s do have far superior range and maneuverability, though the American aircraft are armoured. Their torpedoes are inferior and will remain so for some time. Though when it comes to torpedo bombers and dive bombers, it's really if they can actually get through. And then of course you have the experience of the ship's crew at day and at night, and then of course the experience of the air crews and then leaders. So there's a lot of different things that could change that. Can we even catch the Lexington in open waters? Yeah, we definitely can. We definitely can. If I can find her, we can catch her. Simple as that, really. All I need is a sighting. For instance, my submarines are hauling ass at 23 knots. They are moving. They're burning a lot of fuel. At the end of the day, I'm doing this so I can actually have a good chance of detecting where Lexington is. This is why we're doing this. We need to haul ass into this area of the Pacific. Hello there, Everton. Good evening. Their doctrine also made it so carrier divisions only sorted together, therefore Zuikaku stayed in dock when it could have gone to Midway. I mean, it's not a bad thing, is it? I know it's one of those of, well, if she'd have gone to Midway, could it have been different? But the thing is, it could have been a different story where had she left for Midway, she could have been intercepted, all sorts of things could potentially have happened. So I can understand why they'd keep their carriers together, because at the end of the day, they are the most precious things you can imagine. So if you were to lose one of them, yeah, the fallout would be catastrophic. But of course, the fallout from the Battle of the Coral Sea was catastrophic, Battle Midway, etc. Okay. Now, I did actually discuss this with Lord Luba. And that was, my worries regarding the Illusion Isles were really unfounded as of the last stream. I was worrying too much about the proximity to the Americans. But in reality, I'm pushing for Wake in Midway, I'm pushing for Canton Island, I'm pushing for all these islands right by American power projection. So at the end of the day, what does it matter if I was to push for Dutch Harbour? At the end of the day, this would be a level 3 port, very nice port there, very, very good. Would deny the HG a port. It would actually give us a potential to establish a very, very interesting base. I mean, you can imagine, should I run patrol planes from this area, I'd be able to, importantly, keep an eye on, is it Seattle up here? Seattle? In Vancouver or something? As well as obviously the upper part of the American and Canadian coastline. So even if you see them next turn, you cannot send your carriers. Well, what I've agreed with the historical gamer is that I will not be using my carriers to hunt him down. I'm just playing by the rules that we have established. So my carriers have their own orders. Akagi and Kaga are to head towards Wake and Midway. Kitabutai is to head towards Track. So we have our submarines basically on the hunt here for the enemy carriers. The US should not have any big ship involutions. The only thing I really fear, it's not so much ships, it's rather aircraft. But then again, it's one of those things, they can't take the island back with purely aircraft. So I think we'd be okay. Now I don't even know what a YP is. Do I still have... Let's see. Yes, I know my thing is really cluttered. It is really, really cluttered, and I don't have the will to do it. Right, district patrol craft. A small patrol craft for local duties, meant to include only the larger yard patrol craft of sufficient size to operate from bases. Okay, so it's basically a tiny little ship. Oh look, the easternmost Kuril Island, worth expanding. Air capacity of maximum 4 there. 4. 2. 4. 3. 5. They'd probably have the range of light patrol aircraft, or level bombers, stuff like that. Fighters? Maybe. I'd say... establish a base over here, but I do have a AV for that task. Yes, over here. So you're to head to Shimushi-jima, which is here. But that air capacity is low, so what I'm going to do is have you instead head over here, which is actually a better idea, considering it does have a permanent garrison of fortress guns here. So we have, wow, we have 4 240mm howitzers. We have a bunch of other lovely guns here. That's beautiful. As well, of course, Imperial Japanese Army troops. Nice. And actually, already some embedded fort. Lovely. Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Okay. What we'll do then is we'll send those troops over there. So you'll head here. You're carrying 6 F1M2 Petes. I'd like to have them upgrade to the Jakes in the future, or we could even just run patrol aircraft from there. That'd be better. I'm going to take some of these tankers actually and have them sent over to Toyohara. Or do I want to send them to Toyohara? It's a little bit of a risk, isn't it? But in the end of the day, if he's hitting Toyohara, I'm doing something wrong. So head to Toyohara. Although given the American fleet had the drop on the Japanese at Midway, I don't know if one more carrier would have benefited. Just Furycraft as an armchair general. The Iron looks like I'd put some planes there before hopping to Kurils, indeed. At the end of the day, like, they're not exactly heavily garrisoned. Yeah, sure, they have some, like, big guns there, but they're a long way from actual support. You can imagine the morale would have been very, very poor. Don't forget, with such forward positions, you can make a convoys easy target. Well, what we'd probably try to do is, I could even potentially just use submarines to resupply this base, or just fast transport. Right. Maybe add a few older DDs or something, just something for raiding. Yeah, that's good potential. Yeah, I can imagine. So I do have a troop transport over here. That would come in quite handy. See, I do have a division over here in Hokkaido, the 17th Division. Which army are you attached to? Are you attached to army or home defense? You're attached to Northern Army. I don't think you could be transferred out of Japan without me using a lot of political points. I have 441, but I'd like to save them for when they're needed. Probably a good idea. When I receive new ground troops. Okay, 11 days into we have another Japanese Air Force Engineer Unit and Naval Guard Artillery. Raiding Regiment. Ooh, these are paratroopers. I've never actually used any of these. That's very, very interesting. Yeah, genuinely never used them. First time I've actually looked at them. I can't wait to see this actual new date. They will be very, very nice. Capacity is only 53, but you will arrive with new squadrons, which is nice. Your AA is very effective. Very effective. Same model here. 522. Yeah, 522. Though you have 25. Do you have 25? 25, okay. I'd love to have Tayo. That will not happen for some time. And considering she comes with A6 and 5s, yeah, that's some way away in the future. Oh, I can't wait to have you. You'll arrive at Kyoto. I can... Oh, aye. And a second. Though you don't have a search plane, that's a shame. But these AMCs will be very, very nice. We'll gain Shoho soon as well. Not a huge capacity, but at the end of the day, I'll make good use of them. Plenty of sub-chasers, which is good. New submarines as well. Yeah, very long-range ones as well. Beautiful. Okay. Let's take a look through these harbours then. Through these ports. You've already been dispatched. Now... Your troop capacity isn't amazing. Yeah. They do mount these big guns. In reality, they're very poor guns. Well, they're old guns pretty much, aren't they? But they can be very effective against, like, something that's unarmoured. Right, you don't have a search aircraft, but I'm going to have you sent out to sea. There we go. You have fantastic endurance. Yeah. Terribly good endurance. Maybe worthwhile to just keep you here at Minato, and then have you go raiding. What I'll do is I'll have her sent out towards the Aleutians. Probably somewhere around here-ish. Try and use her to, like, sort of patrol that sea lane. Get an idea of what we're dealing with. I was wondering, anyone here play World of Warships? God, you know what? I'm trying to remember my old World of Warships account. I freaking love the Congo. The Congo is so much fun. Troop transport. Decent one as well. Okay, we can use these. Have you head up to Hakodate? Okay, looking good. You're on training. Yep, that's fine. Ah, that's a shame. Yeah, what I like about the Congo is just that little bit of speed is really nice. I'll be definitely using these cruiser mine layers in the future. Okay. Now, I do have these auxiliaries. Load that tender. That's actually a very large tender. Right, we'll figure out how I can use them. I think they can assist in rearmament, but I'm not entirely sure. As a base ship can tend small craft performing repair and rearm. Well, that's not too bad then, I guess. I could use them just obviously move like I suppose cargo around. What are they armed with? I think they may have potentially more firepower than the average ship. 78 in total there. Just compare that to something else then. Okay, we'll just take a look at one of these out here. Oh no, I take that back, they're roughly on par. I thought they might have been a little bit more upgunned or something of that nature. I'm so happy that I got a tier 10 in water tanks. But I'm really considering actually selling my account there. It's just, the meta is so different from when I played. It's just, it's very different. It's like I don't recognize most of the tanks, and yeah, as you can imagine, Russian power creep as per usual. Oh dear. Right, I have you as well. I'm gonna have your tender loaded. I'm just looking around Japan here at the moment, making sure I've not missed anything. Now, you could be very interesting. Let's take a look at that. AR. Ah. I'm not entirely sure what damage you're capable of repairing, but that's very, very interesting. How to use you. Eki. Ammunition transport. Very interesting. Okay, let's form a new support group. AG, AR. Oh, yeah, I'll just have you used as well then, I guess. Well, not speed. Your capacity is not that great, so I'll have you separated. Okay. Load their tenders. Or do you just load like normal? Seems they load like normal. Okay, so load supplies. Though you do already have some supplies. Yeah, I played Navy Field back in the day. That was a hell of an experience. I'll have these 2 escort ships sent to the north. I don't think they have any ASW value. Oh no, they have 1 actually. They could be actually useful then. That's good to know. Very good. Very, very good. Okay, sweet. We'll have them based at Toyohara. Though I might have them based at Wakanai. Considering the port capacity free. Port capacity free, but we do have obviously more supplies there. But we'll have them sent to Toyohara for the time being. Do have a destroyer here. Obviously we can give that to the convoy system. Patrol craft as well. Right, so everybody's basically signed a duty already. It would seem. Are you not capable of that role? Yeah, you have no ASW. You are later upgraded to have ASW capabilities, so that's nice to know. Into 1942 as well. Okay, we'll look for how to use you in the future then. Obviously, before we have you upgraded. We do have a destroyer here. As well as a transport. Very, very large transport, which is already given a mission. Or is it? No, it's not. Right, we'll have you escort that large transport van. That would be quite nice. Then again, let's see. Ah, so you could move all the way to Wuzhang. Right, very, very nice. You move to Hankow, you can move to Hankow. Right, we'll have you move to Hankow. But what I'll have you do then is actually head to Shanghai. You can pick up some troops from Shanghai, actually. Then we can take them upriver into central China. Okay. Invasion underway. That'll be an APD under repair. Yeah. How long can I expect on them? So we're looking about 31 days there. That's fine. So within a month we'll have a good number of extra APDs. Be lovely. Quite a lot of spare over here. Hello there, Diligent. How do you manage all the logistics here? It's not too bad, to be fair. Once you get things like lined up and figured out to begin with, like we did do a lot of the convoy theater crafting in the first few videos. I didn't do it as well as I could have been doing had I really gone overboard. But what we'll do is once we have our actual convoy ships at the required ports, we can put the convoys together from there. But yeah, just send your fastest to the ones furthest away, and then like aim to have like shorter range convoy ships, well, with the slower speed and lower endurance closer. Are you being loaded? Should have Natoro actually load fuel. Replenishment. There you go, load fuel. I can use you to support our activities down here. Could have you refuel Congo and Aruna. Double check our aircraft here. Yep, correct. Flying day operations. Right, what I'm going to do now. I'm going to look through these bases here. I'm going to set the vast majority here to train escort. I don't need many training on sweep. Just one squadron would really do it. Right. We'll have you sweep. Yeah, that's good. I'll have you run naval attack. Sweep, there we go. Naval attack. Sweep, okay. Now you're running ground attack, that's fine. Okay. No one's been transferred out from here, so that's okay. Not yet, anyway. I don't want to send too many troops. I've agreed not... Well, I've agreed to sort of play by the rules where I'll have a division accompanied by 2 artillery brigades. I'm not going to send loads of artillery brigades because that would be somewhat unfair. I could basically gather everything into like one group and it'd be like sort of death stack. It's not too bad, to be fair. Like, planes consume supply. So it's rather simple in that way. It's just more so the fact you've actually got to move the things yourself, pretty much. Right, let's see here. Oh, so I still need to set up this for the aviation support. You can handle a bunch more planes here. But does the aviation support allow this? Yeah, you do actually. Oh no, aviation support 39, 49. No, can't move additional aircraft here as of yet. Right, we'll be jigging all the engineers around soon enough. A lot of our forces will be arriving here. I could do with maintaining. But I'll do that in the following turns. I just want to get things done for the time being now. I'm going to move additional engineer support here if I can. We'll move, obviously, planes out as we can. Like, for example, Dan Island will be able to host more planes in the future. Oh, yeah. So, keep divisions within 5 hexes of the core command. Within 3 hexes of the core command should you want to use the support from the core command. Core commands need to be within 25 hexes of headquarters. And then your army headquarters, I don't think it really matters where they are, from what I can understand. It just really matters how close to the actual rail head they are. Yeah, I'd agree with that one. Now, I do have the KI-43 1As and 1Bs here. These guys are targeted to Georgetown. That's fine. Airfield damage 23. We can see there's aircraft based here. 10 fighters here. Go to Baru has 15 fighters. Though I will be taking Kotabaru, so I'm not going to try to damage that. Can these airfields handle any more aircraft at the moment? Aviation support 0 required is free, so you can't. Why is Thailand under Japanese control? Basically, a very interesting story. I mean, it's like with Indochina, that was basically the Japanese putting pressure on the Vichy regime. I think as far as it goes with Thailand, you know what? It's like I know, but I don't want to say the thing's wrong. Like, I have a rough idea, but I'm going to let somebody who has a more solid idea. Well, solid knowledge of the matter answer that one. I suppose you could say they were pressured. In a way. Yeah, I'd feel more comfortable if I knew about the actual event more to comment. Right, these level bombers will be on training. Yeah. You're talking to a low star. Fine, fine. I do want to transfer additional fighters here, though. A lot of aviation support required there. There's a lot of fighters there. Okay. Could be sufficient fighter coverage. Yeah, you're low speed. I could still nonetheless use you as an escort. Yeah, for example, the Mersing invasion. I could have you just grouped in there, but at least it'll actually make a bit of a difference. Not amazing, but additional AA, additional guns is always a welcome thing. Not bad AA, not bad. We'll have you actually merge with the group. Merge. There we go. Okay. Orders here are done. Do I have anything I could transfer to take the illusions? Right, you're assigned to 15th Army. Though I am going to have you loaded to assist at the Philippines. I could use that AA. Now I do have you. That does intrigue me. That really does intrigue me. I do wonder what we should do with them. I mean, they really don't have much equipment. Yeah, we know we're going to be defeated. It was me who was basically put to the impossible difficulty. I reasoned at the end of the day, it's more fun. It's going to be a more fun series. At the end of the day, if we actually achieve something, it will mean a hell of a lot more. And come the winter, things will be brutal. And of course, we have to bear in mind, it's like, we're not always going to have the time, like, could be any one of us who may not be able to meet that time anymore. So if we have a series that plays out, rather than drags out, I'd rather that. But we'll see how we go. Who knows what could happen. Okay, I'm just trying to think of what I might have missed. I don't think I've really missed much. I think we're pretty much ready to go, to be fair. Actually, no. These are Chinese troops, however. Not worth it. I know, right? But we can beat them. Right, so we've done production expansion, we've done the shipyard work, we've done engines, we've done R&D to an extent, we've done the expansion, well, planned expansion Tokyo's shipyard, well, repair yard, but I will make sure that's actually going to repair. We've issued orders in the Pacific, the Marshall Islands, I forget the name of these islands. Caroline Islands? I can't remember what they call them. We've issued orders in Malaya, in Thailand, Indochina, China, Japan itself, Korea, Manchuria. We've done pilot training. All task forces have orders as far as I'm aware. And all honesty, I think we're done with the turn. Regarding your last one on the stream, Patton wouldn't have taken Berlin. They agreed to alter that Reds got Berlin. I've not watched Death Island yet, but I will be watching that very soon. It does look hilarious. So yes, I think we're pretty much done with the turn here, ladies and gentlemen, unless there's something you guys can think of that I might have missed. I think we'll be good from here. Let's see. There we go. Turn that on. Okay, actually I know something that we missed. What I'll do is I'll take the ships from over here. Will do. Alright. Always goes through me. We'll have these ships actually sent over to Tokyo where they can load supplies. We're going to get something set up so we can have like oil and supplies. Well, fuel and supplies sent to the Marshall Islands and the other Pacific Islands. I wonder how THG will react on his turn. Probably breathe a little sigh of relief that probably only one battleship was sank there. Yeah, the attack on Pearl Harbor was very underwhelming. We did take a exceptional amount of zero losses, which is rather... It was a very poor way for the campaign to start for us, really. It was okay. We did the damage that we needed to do, but ideally I was hoping for more, which we didn't achieve. Though we did nail 3 submarines at Manila, so hopefully that will make a difference. We should be able to get the number on him. I think if we actually do figure out a carrier's location, like an actual location, then yeah, we should be able to absolutely destroy a carrier, ideally. We're not going to lose her in Australia again. This is it. And the way to win is what the Japanese plan with chemical warfare. Oh dear. Yeah. I just need to find some tankers, actually. Easier said than done, apparently. That's been sent to Toyohara. Your endurance is too low. Okay, that'll do. That's pretty good. Yeah, I could have you actually converted to an oiler. And you actually gain additional armament, I do believe. Let's see. Right, let's put you into an actual force. Speed's good as well. Beautiful. Head to Tokyo. Yeah, that's pretty good. Brilliant. Yeah, we'll do that then. I mean, the speed does decrease, but at the end of the day, that'll be fine. The endurance is very, very good. Of course, you'll also be able to do underway replenishment, which is very nice. He should have... I think he's either going to have 3 or 4 carriers somewhere in the Pacific. Of course, I don't know about the allied carriers. That's something I'm not entirely sure of. We have our escort carrier down here, don't we? Yeah, so Tokyo's on the west coast of the US for Colorado. Colorado. Yeah, there's Taiyo. Amazingly on her own. She's heading to Hiroshima. Though we'll have her head to Tokyo. Yeah, no kidding. That's rather extreme. We can adjust those later, to be fair. I'll just have them set to, like, just basically chill for the most part. Of course, train, but mostly chill. Destroy tender. Right. Dockyard's always a handy thing to have. That's a very effective tanker. Oh, whoops. You're already in a task force. Who's my anime girl waifu? Oh, wow. Damn, that's a good question. Who is my waifu? That's gonna take me some time to actually really answer, you know. Fuck, that's a good question. Who is my waifu? Okay, bugger it. I'll say Sarah's Victoria from Helsing Ultimate. The Ultimate? Not the original Helsing. The original Helsing is boring as hell, man. I'm just gonna go with Sarah's Victoria just for the time being. That was a good question. Goddamn, man. Yeah, indeed, right. Okay, I don't think I have anything available to escort you, so we'll just have you sent directly to Tokyo. You'll make it, that's fine. There we go. Other than that, I think we're pretty much done. So, assuming they make it, which they should do. Right, coastal minesweeper. That's a really weird place for you to be out there. Okay, I mean she's annoying. I mean Sarah's Victoria's ultimately annoying. She's really utterly annoying. Which is the only one I could really think of given the time. Ha! Ha! I could say the the priestess girl from Goblin Slayer. Hey, she did alright. God knows what her name is. God, the amount of plot in that anime. Okay. Yeah, something like that. Right, I think we're good to go here. I really do think we're good to go. I really can't think of anything else. I am going to just quickly take a look through the... Again, you know what? We did have some success with the actual midget submarines over there. Let's see if we could potentially use midget submarines. They have tiny range, though, that's the thing. But I could have them return to the pool. How many do I have in the pool? Do I have any, like, small ships in the pool? Where the hell would they be? Yeah, Ultimate's worth it. It's like, it makes the original look like crap, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Right, I know where we could use them. So now I could create some midget submarines over here. So how much supply we have here? 13,000. Okay. If I create some midget submarines, we gain 4 of them here. Now their range is tiny. I think they can make it to Hong Kong. I think. Now Hong Kong does have mines. Is that a good idea? Considering they can't make it anyway. Ew. Okay, but what we can do here then is we can have you dock. The dock. Ah, damn, I'm done again. Okay. Didn't mean to actually do that twice, but that's fine. I forget how one returns them to the actual pool. Can I do that with midget submarines? Yeah, I still need to read Zypanga right there. Ah, thanks, man. Yeah, I can't remember if it's these guys that can be sent back to the pool. They may just not have the operation points to be sent back. But yeah, okay. We'll make do with them. Now, we are aware of the... There's a few tankers actually. Let's take a look at those. They're okay. I mean, that one's the best by far with that endurance. These are pretty good ships with endurance. We do have a lot of supply here. Who's a mine layer? Spellcraft. Actually, you're pretty damn good. Okay. I legitimately think I have nothing else I can possibly do here. Yeah, I mean, really, it's just going to be coming down to the turn resolution. I'm sure THG will be extremely happy. I think he'll be happy about the results that he got at Pearl Harbor. At the end of the day, yeah. But, okay, I mean, while I'm here then, while we're here, should we take some questions? Might be a good idea. Now, I do have my midget submarines over here. Now, you're out, no, you're not out of ammunition. One of them's out of ammunition. Yes, you're out of ammunition. So what I'm trying to do is actually get you the hell out of Dodge. I don't think you can make it. You might make it. Might. I might be better off just disbanding her dependent. But we did do okay, actually, considering that one of our midget submarines got through here. Yeah, as per some tigers. Oh dear. Well, what we'll do then is we'll go over the actual goals here. Yeah, I'm sending you out elsewhere. So the plans are in motion for the next turn. We will be striking towards the Phoenix Islands. We'll be striking towards Canton. Actually, I do need to take a look towards these islands. That's something I need to do. Let's see. Free. See, I'd love to take Horn Island. That's really bugging him up there. That does have the potential to be a decent sized airfield. Very good there. Norfolk Island. Yeah. I mean, this is it. We are going to be trying to consistently remain on the offensive. Like I said earlier, not too many places for the Lexi class to go port-wise. Yeah, that's very true. The thing is, if we destroy one of the Lexingtons, then we'll be good to go. It's going to change the actual force ratio. It's not going to be a win, don't get me wrong. It's going to be an important victory, but it's not going to win the war for us. It will just bring the ratio from a 1-to-1 ratio to about 1.5, which is actually very good. What I need to do is actually play in these terms of force ratio. Indeed. I doubt he'll have the capabilities to launch aircraft at me. I'd love to hit Pearl Harbor again, but I can't. Well, it'll be a, I suppose a tactical / strategic victory. I suppose tactical is the end of the day. It's not going to be strategic in fact that it's not going to be like winning China or defeating China. But it will be a very, very important tactical victory. Would get a surprise if it entered a Japanese spot. You know what? The thing is, it's like, let's look at it this way. If she goes beyond this line, she has a very high risk of me actually detecting her. If she goes this way, she runs a gauntlet of submarines over here. But ultimately, she has a very good chance of surviving. Now, if she operates down in this band here, there is a lot of issues. It's like, for example, I may not be able to find her. It's like I will establish the position over here. But that will be obviously in this location. Now, I'm going to try to take some of the Aleutian Islands up over here. But if we can try to, like, have some force projection, something along these lines, that'd be quite good. You know what I'm doing. Yeah, it's a cat. Okay, yeah. I think we're good to go here. If you guys have any suggestions, then please do leave them in the comments. But I think, as far as I'm aware, we're done. And it's worried me because it's like, I want to do more. There must be more somewhere. It's like there's a lot more to do in Manchuria. It's like I could obviously have all those troops moving. But the thing is, I obviously have the agreement with THG that I'd only have like a certain amount of artillery per division, so I'm going to stick to that. In regards to the economy, a lot of that is going to need new data from the following turns. But I think that will be good. So yes, thank you. Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I hope you will continue to enjoy the series. So we'll be moving on shortly. Oh, you got a question? Sure, I'll take a question before I go. A bit more Budweiser in the meantime. Do you keep notes? No. I wish I did. If I kept notes, I'd probably be doing a lot better. But I'm lazy like that. I just don't keep notes. And it's like the tracker does a lot of the work for me. With these games, they have really small scale tutorials. I suppose you could play like the Battle of the Coral Sea, which would actually take place like in this area. But do bear in mind the resolution. Like, for example, this yellow box here is my monitor, which is 1920 by 1080. It's like, this is 1920 by 1080, so that gives you an idea of just how large the map is. So some scenarios, you may have something like only that, so you can't actually move the screen side to side. Otherwise, it's really fun. I would definitely recommend the map mod. It does make the game a hell of a lot more attractive. But yes, with that, I suppose we're done here. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully I've not missed anything majorly important. I probably will have, but I think we're good to go. We've got the vast majority of things in action. So I think we'll be okay. Orders are issued over here. We are marshalling our forces over here as well. Obviously these cargoes will then go out to their predestined locations. It's like, for example, if I take a look here at task forces, you can see here all the orders. If I take a look at all these actual ships, there's not many that aren't in task forces. If they're not in task forces, it's really for a reason. Indeed. Tenno, Haika, Banzai. Till next time. Goodbye for now, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day or evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. You're very, very soon for the next turn. Goodbye.